Hello and welcome to our channel Daddy, Dad and Me. We became a family last summer when we adopted our son after starting our adoption journey back in 2018. As you can see from the channel, we have lots of vlogs to help prospective adopters and other adoptive families on their journey to parenthood. We have vlogged all about different aspects of our journey, from stepping foot right inside the adoption agency, the assessment process, and more recently, parenting little man. Here's today's vlog. Hi everybody, hope you're well. A bit of a kind of feels like a late night edition really. Little man's just gone to bed. And I'm just going to go straight into the video really because I don't think it needs much of an introduction. And you'll see from the title of it, post-adoption depression. And this is, I'm just going to put this out there, my disclaimer, this is my personal experience. Not everybody will experience the same emotions I did. They won't have the exact same experience. Everybody is different. All children are different. All parents are different. So this is just my own lived experience. So please respect that. Before people, because I know people do like to comment or feel certain things, and I just really wanted to put this video out there because there is nothing around about post-adoption depression. I don't think I've never seen anybody really openly talk about it, and that's not saying that's my expectation, and I just wanted to put something out into the community and to know that if people are going through those emotions, that period, the black kind of cloud as some people refer to it, it's totally normal. And as you'll see from what I'm going to say and just about my lived experience, it's like I was shocked now looking back on that time that it wasn't covered in any of the adoption training. There's no mention of it whatsoever, and especially we're living in a day and age where mental health is spoken about, and again that wasn't really covered in there, but you talk about it within your assessment sessions. There was nothing, and I kind of wanted to push to make it mandatory for post-adoption depression or guidance and support around it, because what I was feeling last year, I didn't know what that was, and it's only kind of when you come out of it you realise and you look back on it. So yeah, I'll go straight in, and it's so weird because when you look back, or when I look back I should say, it's such a weird moment. I couldn't tell you where, kind of how far in, like we'd had all the build up to introductions, and I'd probably say it was quite shortly after little man coming home, and I mean within weeks. And I'd never went to my GP, never went to my doctor, so it was never diagnosed or anything like it. But from what I've read up on and seen, and kind of who I've spoken to, I believe I had, I don't want to say some form of it, but post-adoption depression in some capacity. I think it was quite mild in comparison to perhaps what other people that I've now spoken to may have encountered. And yeah, it was just weeks after little man had come home, and I just felt odd. And I know that seems a real peculiar way to say it, but I just didn't feel myself. And I suppose that's like any kind of person within who's adopted, because you're put into this situation by your own doing, and like your life, for anyone that's gone through it, I hope will understand and that would be able to kind of vouch for what I'm about to say, but your world is literally turned upside down. Literally what you were doing a week ago, you couldn't be any further from it now, because you've been put into this situation. In most cases you've not had that child, I wouldn't say from birth, but from very early days, especially kind of if they're like toddler ages. So you're going into a situation where you're it's just so full on. And I think I quickly started to mourn and grieve for my single life, because prior to that, you could literally get up and go and do whatever you wanted without kind of really having to plan or to think about it. Little man comes along, and that totally changes. The centre of your world changes. He is now the centre of your world. And I've said this sentence a few times to other people, and I remember saying it, or I think it was on one of my other vlogs, and it's the child you've always wanted, it's the son you've always wanted, and that you should be so thankful and grateful, which we are. But when you feel you're trying to, you should replicate that feeling, as in you should be so grateful. But yes, I was, but also I was struggling mentally. I was struggling. I wasn't sleeping. I was trying to get through every day. I remember James turning around to me at one point, and it was almost like I was gearing for, I wouldn't say a fight, obviously in the literal sense, but some days kind of behaviour wise, and especially in the early days where boundary pushing was at its peak, because little man was trying to figure out what was happening and kind of what daily life looked like. I would almost be on guard for it, and I would feel almost like I was on tenterhooks a lot of the time, and I felt that I couldn't talk to my friends about it and my family. And yeah, all I can say is, now looking back on it, it felt like such a blur that time. And I do remember it, and I had enjoyable days, but also it was so bloody tough. It was really, really tough, and way tougher and more emotional. And I've never felt as drained then, like now. I won't say you kind of get used to it, obviously, but you're in time and all of that, things move on, and you kind of find your feet as a family, which we now have. But definitely I would say that I had some form of post-adoption depression, I'd say for a few months, if not longer. And I did try and battle it. I didn't say anything to anybody, because I was thinking I should be so grateful for now what I've always wanted. And in some sense, I didn't feel grateful, because I felt like, again, experiencing parental guilt for the first time. Whoa, that was a new lesson to learn. Feeling guilty for going to do things, feeling guilty for even just having 5-10 minutes out of my day just to have a coffee. And it's all those little things, and as soon as that starts building up, they chip away at you, and your mental health suffers. And I just want anyone to know out there who's going through it, gone through it, or silently kind of not saying anything, speak out and up, reach out to other people. And I will say, please, like, you don't feel like you have to come to me, but speak to a professional, speak to social workers, because that's what I wish that I had done. And I think you kind of feel, when you've got all of the meetings going on, like, for 6 months of your life, if not longer, after your child has come home, you're having telephone calls, you're having meetings, you're having lack reviews. All of these things are still going on, and you're trying to find your feet as well. It is a lot. And yeah, I just want to say that please do reach out. So that's what I wish I did with the social workers, because you almost feel like a bit of a failure if you don't say. If you do say something, you're going to be, they'll look at you thinking, oh, you can't cope, oh, you can't be fit to parent your child. And those were the kind of thoughts that were going through my head, and that's why I think I didn't say anything. And I really would love to see more people, more professionals talking about post-adoption depression, because I put something out a little while ago on Instagram. Some people had heard of it, but never maybe have experienced it. Some people had never really kind of thought about it, I suppose. And it's the weirdest feeling in the world, because all I can remember living that time, but definitely parts of it I didn't enjoy, and I silently suffered. So yeah, if you're watching this, please to start speaking about it. If you are in any way kind of connected to adoption, just keep that message going, because I've not seen anybody really speak about it, and that's okay if people don't want to talk about it. But I also think there needs to be an outlet in which people know it's okay to speak up about it. You're not going to be judged. It's okay to be open about these kind of things, because it normalizes it. And I think if I had seen a video like I'm making now, it would have helped me to go, this is what it's kind of feels like. And yeah, nothing prepares you for what is going to happen in those early weeks and months. And I said to somebody the other day, even now, and we're like way past the year into little man coming home, but there are still moments now, like I recently put a blog on about little man saying about he wouldn't live here anymore because we not told him off, but we're trying to teach about consequences and people's actions. If you broke something, what would happen? And his belief is that he wouldn't live here anymore. And it's little things like that, and that's a year later. So I'm trying not to put a dampener on it, but sometimes in those early kind of weeks, months, and definitely kind of first 6 to 9 months, I think it's a little bit smoke and mirrors, and they may look like they're settled, but you're still trying to find your feet as well, and it's just go easy on yourself. I wish I'd have done that. I was very harsh on myself, and I still am, but yeah, talk about it, normalise it, and I'd love to kind of speak to professionals within the adoption capacity, whether that's in the UK or worldwide, for something to be changed and done about it. Because to me, post-adoption depression, as I said, I've not seen anything really about it, and it's a very real thing because I've lived through it. So yeah, it's I'm glad I've kind of come out the other side, and I've wanted to do this vlog for quite a while, because it's when I look back the last kind of few months when I've wanted to do it, and I'm quite a reflective person, and I just thought back to last year and how I was feeling, and yeah, it's such a different time now, which I'm obviously happy about, but I wanted to put it out there just so it's real, and there's no shame in that. So I hope that was okay for me to ramble as I have. Please do reach out, daddydadame@gmail.com, or on Facebook and Instagram as daddydadame. I'm more than happy to speak to anybody. I may be able to signpost you to somewhere for support and guidance, or even just for a listen. And I think sometimes that helps, because nobody should kind of really suffer in silence at all. So I'm going to go and get my dinner now and enjoy the rest of my evening. So I will have another vlog very soon. Have a lovely week, and I will see you very soon. Bye.